We are the building power from the Grassroots Up Action Team, baby. We are the only permanent action team within the USCAN network. Listen, it was your vote and belief in the critical work that this team could do that made that happen. Now, and the work that we've done over the past 4 years that I have been a part of this action team has truly been amazing.
Heck, I was there in 2017 in Richmond and then in 2018 in Spokane, Washington, arguing with my good friend Reverend Michael Malcolm, making the case for this group, not only to be a part of USCAN's action teams, but also to become a permanent action team of our network.
Are you ready for the build-up?
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 I participate as often as I possibly can in the Building Power from the Grassroots Up Action Team. I've been there since day one because I know that a healthy network and getting the work of climate justice done is about working together. We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
Here at Building Power from the Grassroots Up, all we see is love. We're all in this together to combat climate change and environmental impacts that include injustices like racism, classism, sexism, ageism, and colorism. We're all leaning in no matter what to do what's best because our passion is for people, political power, and our planet.
The way we do this work is as important as the work itself. And what I love about the Building Power from the Grassroots Up team is how we do the work. We respect everybody. We strive for justice and peace. And most importantly, we're by choice forming a community of character, a community with a strong moral voice and a voice that ultimately will prevail. And that's essential to this work.
It hasn't taken me long to really recognize the true power that comes from hearing the diverse voices and perspectives and of all of the climate leaders from across the nation that attend our meetings.
There is power in doing this together.
There is power in doing this together.
There is power in doing this together.
There's power in doing this together. There truly is power in doing this work together.
There is power in doing this together.
The influence of Building Power from Grassroots Up is in the fiber of our network and intersects every action team. We're strong supporters of Arm in Arm and will continue to be a part of its monumental movement going forward. We also support the JEDI and the international committees. Plus, we're pretty dope to work with.
There is power in doing this together. And with the Building Power from the Grassroots Up team, we are the power.
So I ask you again, are you ready for the build-up? Are you ready for the build-up?
Are you ready for the build-up?
Are you ready for the build-up?
Are you ready for the build-up?
Are you ready for the build-up?
So are you ready for the build-up? I believe you are.
Well, guess what? It's time for you to help us build power from the grassroots up. Together we can do this. I believe we will win, but we need each other. So come together and let's build power.
Hi, my name is Arnico Brown, and I have an organization called Ours. I'm very new to this space as it relates to having my own organization. I don't know a lot about where to find grants related to the things that I want to do. And as I continue to move in this space, I learned that you need to have experience and you need to be well connected with individuals. I may learn about grants in the midst of a conversation with somebody else or somebody else willing to help me, but being that I work full-time for another organization while trying to build my own, I end up with very little time to actually do work within my own organization. So
ECHO is an organization that was founded about 15, maybe somewhere between 15 and 20 years ago because of the need for work in the community. One of the first things I think we did was a campaign with Mississippi Power or against Mississippi Power because we saw a need for it and there was no other organization doing any kind of work. So we just jumped in and began working without any money, really, with no funding. That came a lot later.
And how do you think funding is for Black-led organizations versus funding for Big Greens, which are mostly white-led organizations?
Well, now we have tried to apply for a grant not too long ago that they invited us to apply for. After they invited us to apply for it, then when we applied, they said we didn't have enough money for them to give us the grant. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. The grant that we were trying to get was for $250,000, and it was a health grant. They said that we didn't have enough money for them to give us the $250,000 grant, which didn't make a lot of sense, because if we had $250,000, maybe we wouldn't have needed that grant. We would have been able to do the work we were doing, but
together, and thanks to Queen Shabazz, I'm here to read a proclamation on behalf of the city of Petersburg, and it states, whereas the United Service Organization was created 81 years ago by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, initiative to maintain morale among soldiers, and whereas in 1942, the Byrne Street USO was constructed in Petersburg, Virginia to offer social and recreational services for African American colored troops and their families during World War II and continue. Whereas today, the USO building has been renovated and retrofitted to be turned into the state's first solar power resiliency hub that will provide community members with emergency refuge during power outages, green job certifications, workforce development, and other resources to aid in economic sustainability.
We came together for a common goal, right? Integrating climate justice and air pollution and racial and economic equity and justice as well. And thinking about, well, let's vision together what's possible. What can we do to bring our strengths? And not thinking only at the national level, which we did, but even at the state level, right?
And at the end of the day, it is really about caring for community, isn't it? It's really about us coming together and taking the tools and the skills that we have and using those to make sure that those that don't have the same skills and the same voice and the same tools or access to the same tools that we have access through us. And so being able to come together to use these materials to advocate, not only to our communities, but also to those who make decisions on behalf of our communities.
And it's amazing how we're able to all come together. Some people are good at graphics, some people are good at writing, some people are good at relationships, and it all weaves together and makes us all stronger and what we're doing better.
We amplified actions by designing them together and creating it with the buy-in of all 7 organizations that could help really push those materials, those actions, that information out to their constituent group. And we really just worked in synergy with one another in a way that I haven't experienced in any other collaboration previous to this.
So I think this collaborative grant really aligns with USCAN's theory of change, where we build relationships with one another in the movement. We strengthen those relationships. we have a common vision and we work towards together in that work and effort.